to AWS On Air. We are live at the London Summit. We are nearing the end of the day. I'm Jasmine Kiles, one of your friendly hosts who's been here all day. I'm a manager of product management here with AWS, and I work with partners in Marketplace, and I'm joined here by my good friend Adrian.
Hello, I'm good friend Adrian. My name is Adrian San Miguel. I'm a partner enterprise architect here at AWS, also working with partners and getting into other sorts of chicanery, especially when it comes to building standards, as our guests are going to have a good chat with us about today. So gentlemen, would you mind introducing yourselves?
Hi, Adrian. It's good to see you today, OTR. I mean, we have been always seeing you in the YouTube here and there, but good to see you in London. Welcome, both of you. This is me, PD Sherpa, Furbadoji Sherpa. I am a senior partner solution architect, and I work with most of the time with the partner community.
Cool. Awesome. Hey all. My name is Lucky Sharma. I work as a senior partner SA based out of London.
Nice.
Happy to be here.
Well, we know that you were at the Partner Summit yesterday. You are a hot commodity, so we're so glad that you're here on this stage with us today at the Customer Summit. But tell us what you've been working on.
Oh, we have been really working on generative AI, helping our partners. Right? This is where I think our partners are really looking for to help them get into the productions. And over the last couple of years, we have seen so many POCs are happening across, and now this is the time to incast it as much as possible, right? And in the business term, making an ROI out of it. So that's what we have been working on.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you make mention of that. Everybody's trying to gravitate down into that direction, but it's getting very hard to be prescriptive and deliberate with how folks are building stuff. How do you think about that, Lucky, when a customer or a partner approaches and says, hey, I need a very opinionated stance on how I should be doing it. I don't know what good looks like. What are the best practices? Is that something you've been hearing lately?
Yeah, I think all around, that's a really important question, Adrian. We always feel like partners and customers, they always look to us in terms of getting the right set of best practices, understanding how they're really going to understand the business for the customers, and then give them the right solution over there. And in terms of providing them a best practices, we are working really hard in terms of writing the right prescriptive guidance for them, pointing them to the right direction of resources. And that's where recently we have launched GenAI Lens for well-architected framework. And I know almost all our customers and partners, they are leaning a lot on GenAI Lens nowadays in terms of understanding it, making it more customized for their customer, and actually solving the right business case for them over there.
Yeah. Well, I love to talk about it. I would do the demo dance, but I don't think I have to because you have it ready to go. So let's see it in action, and we'll keep asking questions throughout.
All right. So let me start with it. So first of all, let's go through the, when we talk about the generative AI, the main thing comes about is the generative AI life cycles. And yesterday in a partner summit where we were presenting, we asked partner, how many of you have actually gone through the entire life cycles? And there was very few hand raised, which says that, hey, we have gone through this one. And that was really surprising, right? And I think that could be one of the reasons where we are being stuck, when they are working for customers. So if you look into this lens, just to start with it, and we have these generative AI lifecycle that mainly talk about the scopings. How do you do the scoping of the use cases, and then model selections, customizations, putting into development and getting the productions, and how do you improve that? So we have put together all those life cycles here, and then we have used well-architected tools to do it, because I think everyone loves well-architected tools, no doubt about it, right? Yesterday, same thing, we asked about hey, how many of you know well-architected tool? And everybody was raising their hand. So that's why we wanted to give the things that the partner and customers already know about it, and that's why we introduced generative AI Lens within the well-architected tools, right? So if you just have a quick look at how it looks like, so this is something to note out here. It will be the review template.
And I think this one was really interesting yesterday. We were asking to the partners, how many of you know about this review templates? And most of them, they raised their hand, which was quite a surprise to us. So they are literally following all the releases and actually using it for the actual customer use cases, which is really amazing.
Nice, yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll start with the review template. And this review template we can consider as, let's consider like this. Let's say I am in the current state where I want to build generative AI applications. Let's assume we are in that state, right?
Yeah.
Now, the first thing is that what used to regularly happen was that we used to directly go and deploy it. We didn't have any perspective guide for it, and then many of them struggled there. But what we can do right now is let's take in, for example, demo one, and I'm just creating the pre-recorded answers before I even go and deploy into the production. So I'm creating.
Yeah, I think just to add on this bit, and this is really interesting, because whenever we talk about GenAI over the cloud, right, we always think about how we're going to do the things in a more comprehensive way, how we're going to take care of the cloud stuff. Plus, on the top of that, we're going to take care of the GenAI workloads over there. And with this review template features, it is really helping partners specifically to go and standardize the things, have like more comprehensive proposition, add n numbers of lenses over there, and he will provide their standard responses over there. So this is really helping partners a lot in terms of doing the right kind of standardization and then taking it to their customer.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is where you have generative AI lens, guys. I mean, yeah, you got it over there. It's over there.
Yeah.
Right? And this is where we're going to select, and I'm creating a template out of it.
Okay.
So just creating, all right, it's working here. So I'll go there. I have these lens. You can see a generative AI lens out here, and I can just click on this one and answer to the questions like before I even go and deploy it. So if I click on this one, it's going to walk us through the series of questions applicable for generative AI. Like in this case, if just put it across, sustainability is one of the important elements if you are in EMEA, right? Or I think even in the worldwide, we care about our planet. So it's an important part of it. But I think most of the things, if you look into it, let's take in an operational excellence perspective. How do you verify, how do you consistently look onto your models? And you have an answers to this one. So you can just point out and put the answers based on whatever you have in the process as a part of your generative AI development, right? Okay. So I can just click and go on, and I can there are a series of the questions. So but just exit it from here. I have already done it before. So it should be somewhere else. So this is, that
was going to be my question. If I'm doing this for, say, 10 customers at a time, how can I scale this without having to type the same thing every single time?
Oh, you can create, if you want to do it, you can just create for every customers that you're creating across. So there's no limitations. So you can just go for every customer you want to do it, and you can have it. And you can even have the customized lens if you want.
And I think that's what the whole point of like having this review templates. You can actually harvest your knowledge over there. You can capture the standard best practices over there and then apply it for the next customer, right? Okay. So that really helps for the partners to scale their knowledge and harvest it over there. So,
And so something important that you've touched on, we've mentioned partners quite a bit, but what's really important, the average customer can go through and run through this and still benefit from that opinionated guidance, the compiled best practices, and really be able to set themselves up for success. And all they really have to do is go down the lens and answer the questions, right?
Yes.
I think just to add one really important thing over here, Adrian, is so this is more like a guidance, right? Which is in a form of questionnaire, of course, in a format of well-architected framework. But what I really experience over here is while working with customers and both partners, this is more like a kind of guidance in terms of avoiding certain hurdles, in terms of having a smooth sort of journey from ideation and putting it on the production and doing the continuous monitoring. So just before this session, I was talking with one of my partner over here, and we were discussing about few really interesting customer projects that they are doing since last year. And I was really curious, like why it's taking a lot of time, why it's getting stuck over there, why it's not going to the production yet. And he exactly telling me the same story, that we started this project, it was very interesting. Customer really was in a rush to go and see the business value out of it. And they simply choose one use case and started working on it without understanding the whole aspects of it. How I'm going to do the operations on the top of that, how reliable it is, and most importantly, where is the ROI and business value out of it. And that's where this lens plays a great role in terms of giving a good sort of guidance to the customers to understand the overall journey, how this GenAI adoption is going to look like. So in a way, this is not just like a set of questions. This is a really important guidance for the customer to come, understand, customize it, and then use it for their specific use case.
Yeah, and I like how you said it's not just going to give one view, right? It's going to give you
Exactly.
all 6 pillars
Exactly.
and focus on all of them so
Yep.
that you can give the full story over to that other partner or to that other customer that you're working with.
Exactly. Just a caveat, and being AWS, we are very customer obsessed, right?
Yeah.
So just to give a sort of heads up, this gives a baseline sort of guidance. It is not a complete set of guidance. Whenever we are talking about like doing the generative AI adoption, we really have to think about a lot of stuff, right? Starting from how we're going to have the right use case selections. But that's not all. How we're going to prioritize the right use case, understanding the various factors like ROI and business and all the other stuff. The most important stuff over there is what is the data strategy for the customer? How are we going to work in terms of breaking the silo and having a right data structure for them, right? Like the right data strategy for them. Likewise, there are many other things like how are we going to do the model selections, fine tuning, and so many other stuff. So customer can use this lens like a baseline, but on the top of that, they really have to understand their business, their use case, and then create like a overall guidance over there.
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent. So it definitely sounds like this is a part of the holistic approach in really understanding and contextualizing the big picture on these sorts of endeavors that customers may be going in on. Something that you mentioned that kind of resonated with me is understanding the full ROI or the scope of the thing. 'Cause it's cool to go build a widget, but if the widget costs millions of dollars and ultimately only solves a tiny part of the problem, you got a larger problem because you completely missed everything.
Absolutely.
And so something that I have been discussing adamantly and quite fervently, to be honest, with customers and partners is don't just try to solve the immediate. Try to build into what your organization is trying to accomplish. Understand the all-up goals. It's okay to launch an app, but the idea is to provide some sort of hyper-specific benefit to a customer to say, hey, we're going to save you 20x on the average cost of installation of, say, doors or windows or whatever, and you help them do it. Being able to have that holistic baseline and be opinionated and understand you have to provide the holistic value. You're not just solving a technical problem anymore.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
you're elevating and solving the business problem, and that those 3 little letters of ROI never come up again.
That's so true. I think just on that ROI, because yesterday we had a lot of conversation with customers and partners, and ROI is not a point-in-time discussion.
Yeah.
You can't simply do ROI at the time of use case identification. You really have to do ROI across the various stages of that adoption. You have to go and do a readjustment of ROI at the time of your model selection. You also have to do after completing your POC, because there are knowns and there are unknowns, right? So as we are getting like more knowns, we really have to readjust and give a good understanding to the customer. So ROI should be across the life cycle.
It's a continuous process. And one thing on top of that, I was talking with the partner and they say, Petey, we got build something because partners brings a wealth of experience, our generative AI competency partners, and they say, Petey, we also bring a wealth of experiences. And for them, I mean, like, there's a custom lens as well. So for you, the opportunity is to take these base model that we have built, the lens, and maybe you want to extract that and bring back your experience and connect it and give it to the customers, right? Nothing better than combining the experience and going to the customers. So I would say definitely there's an options of using the customs lens as well in this case.
So I love that. So if you want to get your hands on this and go use it, go into the Well-Architected tool and check out the lenses, and you can get started today. Guys, thanks for being here. We love seeing a first look at this, and we will be back with more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.